Well, happy Halloween. It is October 31st, 2019, Thursday. Journal number 212, T+212. Don't know how much trick-or-treating is going to go on this evening in the wind out here. Probably very little. Under the circumstances, I think people are still a little on edge and uneasy as a result of the fires and everything else that's going on. We're okay, and a lot of our friends are okay, and that's a lot to be grateful for. And that's one of the things I think I'd like to talk about this afternoon, quite frankly, and that is this idea of saying thank you. In the great pantheon of things that don't cost a lot, and mean a great deal, simply saying thank you has got to be right there at the top of that list. It's just the easiest, simplest way of sincerely showing your appreciation and gratitude, right? I think sincerely is the operative expression there. And it's interesting because a lot of times people just flat don't understand it. I mean, they don't understand why someone would be compelled to do that or do it differently or take the time to do it well. And let me show you what I mean by that. I just finished those 3 podcasts that we've been talking about for the last number of blog posts. And it was important to me to send out handwritten personal thank you notes. And in all honesty, one of the reasons that I like to do that is because very few people do it anymore. It used to be a lot more common than it was. And I like to do it despite the fact that my handwriting is pretty much illegible. But the simple act of taking the time to think about what you want to say and to express it on paper and then put it in an envelope, address it, put a stamp on it, and then take it to the post office says a lot. I mean, it says a lot more than the effort involved. It says thank you. It says I really appreciate what you did. I appreciate it enough to stop whatever I'm doing to make a point of letting you know how much I appreciate it. Now, don't get me wrong. I still say thank you to just about every doctor and nurse I pass in the hall at the City of Hope when we're out there, or anywhere else for that matter. I still walk up to just about every service member I come across who's in uniform to say thank you for their service. And every veteran. I say thank you to all the police I come in contact with. I appreciate their insanity probably more than most, having been on a number of ride-alongs in the course of my life and know how terrifying it can be to approach a car knowing that it could be problematical and extremely dangerous. And God knows that, I'd stop and thank every firefighter I can find for being so delightfully demented and running into harm's way when everybody else is running away. So this idea of thank you, it really is something that we probably should be more aware of and we should explore further. It's probably something that we don't say enough, that we don't live enough, so that other people recognize how sincere our appreciation really is. And as I said before, this all came about, this blog post, the idea for the blog post came about while I was getting ready to write thank you notes to the podcasters that interviewed me and gave me the opportunity to appear on their show and allowed me the privilege of, really, and I mean that sincerely, the privilege of communicating with their audience, because people who have an audience work hard to build that audience. It's built on trust. It's built on on the quality of the content. And that's a lot of responsibility. And the fact that they invited me to do that means a great deal to me. So I asked for the addresses so I could send out handwritten thank you notes. And when I was telling somebody else about that, what I was doing, they said, well, why? And I explained to them everything that I just explained to you. And their answer was, but why? Why not just send them an email? And, I'm sure I can do that. I'm certain that I could. I certainly know how. But I'm not sure it's the same thing. Are you? I mean, what do you think? I don't get many handwritten thank you notes, but I can tell you that when I do, I cherish them. And the thought that they communicate, that they convey, I find it meaningful. I got a thank you note from one of the podcasters, interestingly enough. It was an email thank you note, and that's okay. But in that email thank you note, they followed through on the age-old axiom of ABM. ABM. And if you've ever been in business, or you've been in the corporate world, or you've been in retail or a service business, you know that means always be marketing. And in that, they went ahead and were sure to remind me, aside from saying thank you for a great interview, which I truly appreciated, and that they would let me know when they were going to push that interview out into the world, into social media, various social media sites, that they were going to let me know about that, and in turn I would let you know when I know. They also asked me to remind you that if you like what you see in the podcast, if you like what you hear, rather, in the podcast, there are 5 simple steps. I'm kind of surprised they didn't figure out how to put it in an acronym, because that would make it easier. But it's subscribe to the podcast if you like the direction it's going in, and the content, what it has to say to you, because they're all different, they're all specialized. Don't download the episode. Listen to it, rate it, and review it. And I'm going to ask all of you when those go out into the world to do that. These are good podcasters. These are professionals. They know what they're doing, and their audiences are interesting and unique. So if you're involved in the business world, or just involved in the world in general, there's content here that I think you'll find very interesting. So subscribe, download, listen, rate, and review. Which brings me to an ask. If you know me, you know how uncomfortable I am with these kinds of things, but realistically, this is important enough for me to overcome my discomfort. If you've read Misfire, or if you're reading it and you like it, you like what you read, do me a favor, share your thoughts and feelings about the book on Amazon. Review it for me if you would. Those reviews are critically important on getting, as far as getting traction is concerned. Readers really do look for guidance when they're choosing what to read, and they really appreciate it when someone takes the time to write a review, which hopefully in most cases is another way of saying thank you. It's an interesting segue there. And if that's the case, if you would maybe just copy and paste what you've had to say on Amazon and then go to Goodreads and review it there as well. Those are probably 2 of the most powerful review sites for new authors and new books there are, and anything you do in that regard would be greatly appreciated. So thank you. There it is. Thank you. I appreciate you. I am grateful that you're part of my world. You help give that world meaning, and that's important. At least it's important to me. So happy Halloween. Stay well. Take care. And talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.